how's it going? So this video is going to be for those of you that may be interested in reading tarot, or maybe do already read tarot but you're new to it, or you just want a different kind of standpoint on it. It also stands for the Oracle deck as well, and I know a lot of you have bought the Oracle deck, but some of you have dropped me some questions. So some of the most frequent questions are: how do you know when to stop shuffling? When should you stop shuffling? Should it be short? Should it be long? My answer to that would be, as long as you've got the question, whatever the question is, clear in your mind whilst you're shuffling, that is the most important thing. If you're shuffling away and you're not really focused on what you want the outcome to be, what you want the cards to tell you, what you're looking for guidance with, then there's no point just shuffling without thinking, okay? So it's setting your intention, and even if you don't have a specific question, it may just be as simple as, what do I need to know, or what does this person need to know if you're reading for someone else? What do we need to know about this situation? What do the cards want to tell us, okay? So you set your question in your mind and you shuffle. Some people close their eyes, some people don't. That doesn't really matter. It's just connection, making sure you feel connected. And then whenever you're ready, sometimes I shuffle for ages, sometimes, not very much at all. So then when you're ready, you stop and then you start to pull your cards. Now, another important factor is, people have asked me about different spreads. Now, I don't necessarily use a specific spread, particularly when, some people think I get a lot of cards out. I tend to work somewhat intuitively about where I go with the cards that I have out. But if you're a beginner, or if you prefer things to be a little bit more structured, then you also want to think about what kind of spread you can use. And when I say spread, it's about position of the cards. That's what I'm talking about, okay? So a very simple spread can be 3 cards, okay? It could be past, present, future. So it can be, what about this situation is affecting it from the past? Where is the current energy in the present? And what is the outcome in the future? Or you could do, what is the problem? What is the solution, and what else do I need to know? So again, as long as you're clear about what those positions mean to you, then that is the best, that is the best anyone can ask. There are obviously traditional spreads like the Celtic Cross. There are, lots of different ones. You can even make up your own ones. It's just, again, it's about you being clear that where you're placing those cards means something particular. So let's do an example. Let's do what is the challenge, where are we now, and what is the solution? So I'm going to ask the question in my mind, I'm going to shuffle, and I'm going to stop when I feel ready. What is the challenge, where are we currently, and what is the solution? Okay. And often I tap the deck. Partly this is habit, okay? But it comes from the idea that when you tap the deck, you're knocking any previous energy out of it. So if you're doing reading after reading after reading, energetically, it's like you're clearing the previous energy from the deck. But for me, it has just become a little bit of a ritual, a little bit of habit, okay? So let's have a look. 3 cards. So we already set our intention, okay? And we were looking at what is the challenge. What is the challenge was the first position. So the challenge here is something around anxiety. There's a lot of pressure mentally with the swords, the 9 of swords. There's a lot of pressure. Somebody is feeling very anxious, very overwhelmed. This can be related to nighttime, so dreams, nightmares, I would say, rather than dreams actually. Having a lot weighing on your mind, feeling in a very dark space, and maybe finding that at night this becomes more difficult. So there's something here which is creating the challenge, and the challenge is anxiety or not being able to relax about something, having something on your mind. The current energy is showing communication. So it could be that you're anxious that somebody isn't communicating, you're waiting for some kind of incoming communication, or there needs to be a conversation, because we're looking at the current energy, okay? So this is what is the obstacle or the challenge. This is where are we now, okay? So where are we now? There needs to be some sort of communication, or you're hoping for some sort of communication. And then the outcome or the solution is a 6 of Pentacles, which is something about there needs to be a fair exchange. Things need to become more balanced. It can be about give and take. It can be about, it can even be related to money sometimes. So you've got to relate it to, what is more relevant to your situation or the person that you're reading for. But for me, the 6 of Pentacles is about give and take, okay? And the balance is off, and it's about, maybe you feel like you've been giving more than you've been receiving in terms of communication, and this is making you anxious. Now, if that's not enough information and you still feel like, I don't know, it's not answered my question, this is when we can clarify. We can pull some more cards to see if we can get a little bit of a clearer answer. So let's have a look at what is the anxiety about? What is causing the anxiety? We know that the challenge is that somebody's feeling anxious, probably the person that you're reading for, okay? Or yourself, you know, not always easy to read for yourself though. But why are they anxious? What are they anxious about? Okay, so what I would say is, what are they anxious about? We get the Four of Wands, we get the High Priestess. The High Priestess to me can very much be about intuition. Their intuition is telling them something is off, or they're having very vivid dreams or nightmares, which kind of links back to what we were saying. And this may be linked into some sort of upcoming celebration or event with the Four of Wands, okay? It could be that there's like an event coming up where they're going to see someone, it's making them stressed. It could be that with Christmas coming up and all of the social things that are coming up, they're feeling anxious about that. It could be that it's a birthday or an anniversary coming up and that is making them anxious. So then we can clarify the middle, which is communication, which is the current energy. So what else do we need to know about the current energy? It feels to me like the current energy is waiting on communication or a conversation that needs to happen. But we can clarify that further. Okay, there needs to be a change of perspective. So in order for anything to move forward, it's like things are in limbo. Things are in limbo because there's a communication or conversation that needs to happen. And it looks like there needs to be some action taken with the Knight of Wands for this to happen. Now, this could be a message for the person you're reading for, that they're going to need to instigate this, that they're going to need to take some kind of action. The Knight of Wands can be incoming, but it can also be an indication that, you know, something spontaneous needs to happen, or somebody needs to follow their kind of spark, whatever's sparking them, whatever's kind of driving them. So then if we clarify the outcome or the solution, we got the Six of Pentacles. There needs to be more balance. There needs to be more give and take. Okay, how? How can there be more give and take? What do we need to know that's going to help us with the outcome? Okay, so with the outcome, we've got a feeling or a fear of disappointment, a fear that you're not going to get what you want, that what you're being offered is not enough, and you're just waiting. You're being left kind of hanging, or you're being left waiting and wondering about something. So again, it makes sense. The give and take is not there. All of the pressure feels to be on the person that we're reading for, and they're just left in limbo. We've got the Hanged Man, we've got the Two of Wands. They're both like a waiting energy. The outcome looks like you need to prioritise yourself as the Queen of Pentacles. And for those of you that if it does relate to money, which the Six of Pentacles can, it could mean that there will be an exchange of money or money you're owed coming back to you, which will put you in a more stable and grounded position. Okay, or if it's not money, it's like you need to just work on yourself. You need to focus within. She's got her eyes closed. She knows she's abundant. She knows she's successful. She knows she doesn't need anybody else's approval. And so she's pulling the energy away from everything else and onto herself. If it's to do with, obviously, you know, if it is to do with an upcoming celebration that's making someone anxious, maybe there needs to be a conversation about it. Maybe you need to say, I don't want to go. It doesn't make me feel comfortable. I don't want to be around that person. I don't want this to happen in the current energy, which leaves you in a much calmer state, which leaves you in a much more stable and grounded position instead of waiting and worrying. So there's lots of ways we can interpret it. It depends obviously who you're reading for. It depends on everybody's circumstances. But the key thing to take away from this, if you're new to tarot or reading tarot, have the question clear in your mind. Shuffle for as long as you feel necessary, but don't overthink it. Just trust yourself. When you want to stop, you're going to stop. And then the other thing is about having the positions of your cards clear in your mind alongside the question that you want to know. What are the positions going to represent to you? And if we need to clarify those initial cards, we're going to pull more cards, and we're going to ask in our mind, how can you can you show me more? What else do I need to know about this? Can we make this clearer? I feel like I've waffled on there. You're probably not even watching, but if you are, thanks for persevering, and I hope this helps.